Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I want to thank you so very much for stopping on this post. If you were to, as an individual, and found out that it was the collective, and collectively you were making the decision that you had enough of all the stuff that we've gone through as people, that each of us have gone through the things that we have to experience in our lifetime, and we just deciding that we're going to do something ourselves to make it better, that our life beyond this is going to be all right. And so in this collective, we decided that our basic concerns would be to protect one another, that we, the people, each of us, the citizenry, were very important. All of us collectively were very important. And we were going to make sure that all of the things that we as individuals enjoy in our living, those things that we aspire to become available to us, and that we were going to do all that we could to make sure that we all inherit the best that America has to offer. We as the citizens, we're going to inherit that and guarantee that to one another. And so when we making these decisions, then we are trying to address the labor part of this, and we find out that each individual benefits from what I've just explained, and each of us got a special gift, a gift that gives us really our greatest joy. We now have the opportunity to engage ourselves. What we've been doing all the time, we work and get careers, and basically that is the same process, except those who are in careers that they don't love now can go to the ones that they love. And the workforce is just tripling now because everybody's engaged, and we are all creating of everything, enough of everything that none of us suffer for anything. And therein lies our peace, lies our prosperity, lies our freedom, lies our joy, and lies the fulfillment of our dreams. And so that, my friends, is what I would say is heavenly. Why do I say that? Is because no one would be able to condemn any of us. No one would be able to condemn any other because we all served one another, and we did a darn good job, and nobody has anything to complain about. Now, I say that's heavenly because it requires the best of each of us. It requires the best of each of us. And now is a time when we could really offer that to one another. We could offer that to our brothers and our sisters. All of us should just offer that to one another. Why? Because look what we've had to face over the past little while. We had to face that really black people and people of color have been in bondage for over 400 years, second class citizens. We had to face that. All of that because of what happened to George Floyd as he was murdered, and the whole world got a chance to witness it. You know, it was nothing really different except this was a moment in history. This was a moment in magic. This was a moment in divine timing because everything worked so well. And the world got a chance to see what we all experience everywhere on this earth where there's governments. We got a chance to see how they operate. There's a power structure, there's enforcement and carry a gun and all of this stuff, and the whole works. I don't have to go into it, but we saw it. And then you came along with the hierarchy, if you want to call it that, the top levels of our government, rather than the government representing the people and the people representing a concern, as I described before. Now they're just going out of whatever, lying about everything. I don't want to go into that either, so I'll skip that. But having to deal with that, ladies and gentlemen, and then having to deal with the big lie where an insurrection is trying to happen. People talking about a coup. I mean, what is this? Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. This is the fruit of all of our giving of our lifetime. Everything that we committed our lives for. All the millions of individuals who have died in battle, preserving this or that. You fill in the blank, what it meant to you. All for a moment in time like this, when the nation is under attack by a lie. And the normalcy of the nation is so deficient of love till it seems to be standing on shaky ground. But still, we have the opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to recognize that we stand on an earth that we did not build, that we breathe the air that we did not create, that we grow from a baby up to where we are now, and some of us continue on. And it's just something that we just do, and it goes on and on until something happens that we really have no control over, and it's over. So we recognize that there's a power that's bigger than any government. Really, we have to recognize that, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we have been trained to respect government as God, really, since we don't see God. We haven't been taught that God is a spirit. We haven't been taught that it is as accessible as me speaking to you right now. God, the spirit, just that accessible. And having that spirit that creates this earth, that does this air, that puts us together, that gives us the waters, the birds, and all of the wonderful things, want wonders from us and have given us the tools to do wonderful things. But we have to listen to the power that brought us here. We can't be listening to something that's trying to take us and make us slaves to some other idea, make us slaves to an individual, make us slaves scared because they'll kill us without even, just do it, just kill us, slaughter us, take us to gas chambers, just blow us down. I mean, this is the world that we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Some of these things don't happen everywhere, but they're happening somewhere. And as long as they keep happening, if it doesn't stop, it eventually will be happening here. And so right now, ladies and gentlemen, it is now the time for us to make that decision. I'm not trying to force you to do anything. I'm not asking you to overthrow any government. All I want to do is introduce you to a God that you can't see. I want to introduce you to a God that made you. I want to introduce you to a God that loves you. I want to introduce you to a God that has a plan for you. I want to introduce you to a God that has heaven ready for you right now, the moment you all, now I'm trying to say collectively, make the decision, because this heavenly thing is an all of us thing. No, it's no top pure where everybody's in heaven and everybody else is under. No, this heavenly thing, and let me tell you, no, I'm not going to get into that. That is another video. This heavenly thing is a thing, my friend, that requires, you felt me. I got through talking about it a few minutes ago. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So what I'm asking anybody to do is to consider God. And consider a God of love. I'm not talking about a God that says that all of the stuff that's happening out here in the world is okay. And when everybody dies out here, I'm going to bring them to heaven. No, I'm not talking about a God like that. I'm talking about, let me give you an example. Once when I was in college, I was going to pledge to one of the fraternities. I kind of was digging them, you know. And once, they were going through a pledging season when I hadn't made the decision yet. And I watched the process. I watched the humiliation that people went through just to be a part of something. And I just determined, just by observing, that it is nothing that I want to humiliate myself out there just to be a part of anything. Because whatever they are being a part of, if it's anything worthwhile, I should be able to be a part of it anyway. So that ended my ideas about joining a fraternity. But I did have an ambition from my early childhood. My great-grandfather raised me was a Mason. And I used to be impressed with the shield and the spear and the apron and a couple other things. And my great-grandfather, I almost, to me, he was God. I mean, I was crazy about that man. He was the smartest man I could ever imagine. I was crazy about him. Oh, he beat me one time, though. But anyway, I wanted to be a Mason. So when I when I was getting out of college, I'm thinking about, one day I want to become a Mason. So, but I got to clean my act up, because to me, being a Mason was something special. It was like divine. It was closer to God than any church. That's what my perception of it had been. And I wanted to cleanse myself up, but I wasn't ready to clean myself up right now. And a partner, he and I were going to have been talking about this, and we were going to try to do it at the same time. Then he came to me one day before we made the decision. He told me that he had already getting started the initiation process. And it took me back. And I'm thinking to myself, what? I wasn't upset or anything about the fact that he had gone ahead of me. No, that didn't bother me at all. What bothered me the most is that this organization, this secret society, as if you want to call it that, was willing to take some filthy one just like me. The reason I held myself back is because, to me, based upon what I had perceived that organization to be, I was just filthy trash. And this is my running buddy. We were both filthy trash. And he told me he was being, I'm thinking, whoa. So that was it. I didn't want no part of that Mason thing, okay? And when it comes down to being an adult, I play around in life just like everybody else play around, but I'm an elder now, and I've been through some stuff, and I've been blessed enough to observe and to be bold enough to stand up and talk. And I just want you to know that, hey, this real, baby. It's real. You can take God's way and love yourself to heaven. Or you take on this thing, Donald Trump might not get you this time. But I guarantee you, if you stay on this path, somebody gonna get you. Somebody gonna lead you straight to hell. Or you're gonna run into a situation where you're gonna have to do exactly what you have the opportunity to do now. The choice is yours. I love you. And I was going out to do some karaoke tonight, and it was dull as hell. And so I'm back. I had this message already prepared for you. So thank you so very much for giving me the time. Goodbye.